Welcome to Off Deadline. I'm Melissa Dijon-Filippo, and I am so excited about my guest today. He is a longtime friend and a serious journalist, Brad Perry. Brad Perry has 35 years of experience in morning television and entertainment. His on-screen career began after attending Holy Cross Junior College at Notre Dame, when he relocated to Chicago to study stand-up and train at Second City. He started as the man about town on WGN's morning show, and then joined AZ Family's Good Morning Arizona for 9 years, before hosting KUSI's Good Morning San Diego for over 7 years. He also developed and hosted Untapped Unplugged, a web show showcasing acoustic artists that he took to television with a special in Jamaica. Today, he hosts CW7 Arizona Daily Mix and is a proud father of 2. And if you know him, you love him. Thanks for being here, Brad.
Thank you. Wow, I can't believe you got all that. That's all ChatGPT or whatever.
No, but I really appreciate you being here.
No, this is great. And listen, I'm pretty much like honored because I'm talking with this lady who is just how can I say, a firecracker in the world of PR, but also just throughout the Valley.
Yeah.
You're an amazing mom, and you're just an amazing person. So I said, I got to come in. I got to show what proof is all about.
Thank you. Well, I love working with you. Anytime we get a chance, to get you out to a client or do a video segment with you, you make it fun, you make it easy for clients and fun for people to watch. And I think that's what I want to show people today is like, who's the guy behind the camera, you know? So
I'm just this boring guy who just,
yeah.
Just sits in my room and plays, Connect 4.
False.
Okay. No.
Actually, I first remember meeting you. You don't remember this probably. Remember Studio 360, the spin studio?
Oh, yeah.
So, I was a total junkie there when I first started my first company, in 2008, and you were there all the time.
Yes, I loved Denise and all them. I was there. I was that was when I was on my fitness journey, but also just working out.
Yeah.
And then I found a place that was just home and fun. Mm-hmm. That was really great. I mean, that was just a blast there. And then I thought I was cool enough to move up to the front. Never do that again.
I did the front.
Yeah.
But I'm an overachiever.
Yeah, but you're like a front kind of person.
Yeah.
Mine is where, it's kind of sad when they tap you and go, excuse me.
You're off beat.
Yeah, you
Get
need to move to the back.
there.
Sir, move to the back. So that was
funny.
it. But wow, we met that's a while ago.
That was a while ago. Yes.
So, oh my goodness.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
So I want to start with your backstory. I know we read a little bit about it, but why did you choose journalism?
It chose me.
Okay.
So my original goal was to be an actor. Mm-hmm. So that's why I studied and wanted to do comedy and stuff. And then just somehow it morphed into landing a job at the Jenny Jones show.
Oh,
being
Jenny Jones, I haven't heard that name in a hot minute.
Yeah, so I was a warm-up person there as a production assistant. I was really working behind the scenes a lot.
Yeah.
On movies and stuff. My first real job was doubling Damon Wayans with the Wayans family on Mo Money. And then somehow at the warm-up time of Jenny Jones' show, someone from WGN was there. And was it WGN first? No, somebody from WTTW saw me first. And they was a PBS type station and stuff. Asked me to come do Wild Chicago, which is a round of town kind of crazy thing we did. And then that led me into sending a tape over to WGN again. Someone saw me and said, hey, do you want to come fill in for a while? And so I did. It was actually supposed to be just for 2 weeks, and it turned into 3 months.
Wow.
And so I was hopefully going to get hired on at WGN, but one, I didn't have a degree. And two, they usually don't hire anybody unless they have at least a good 2 years experience. I mean, you're looking at WGN Chicago.
I mean, that's a huge station.
Market and stuff. And so I somehow landed an agent, and next thing I know, my agent's like, what do you know about the weather? I go, nothing. She goes, well, what do you know about, Arizona? I go, it's hot. She's like, there's a weatherman's job. Because we were trying to get me on TV more because I originally wanted my own talk show. And so that's how it kind of chose me. And so next thing you know, I'm the weatherman in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow, that's crazy.
Had no degree, nothing. I literally, the day I got the job, I was working at the Gap. I was finishing up my shift, folding up, and I got the call and said, hey, do you want to come work in Arizona? I'm like, I'm out. So I went.
And I hate to say it, but I'm guessing that The Gap paid more than your first job in TV.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It pays more than now too. So it did. It actually kind of like did.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the way you do it.
That's the way you do it. Yeah.
It's a love of the business. I mean, if I didn't have any bills to pay, I would do this for free.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Don't tell my bosses that. Don't say, cut that part out.
You got it.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to go deep today.
Okay, we're going deep.
Which story that you've covered or worked on has pushed you the furthest out of your comfort zone, and how did that experience transform you as a human and as a reporter?
Gosh. I think it's going to be a couple of different ones. I think when I've had to go on serious stories, because I've always been the funny guy, the funny weatherman. So when I was working in San Diego, there was breaking story. There was a hostage situation, and they sent me out because I was only like team person out there at the time, and so I had to go out, and it really changed my persona of having to be serious and really take news and stuff seriously. So that was really the big one that really kind of like did it for me.
Yeah, and was that like that transition? Were you prepared for that? Was it really hard to step into that?
I was prepared because one, I didn't take myself seriously. I think that was a key thing. So I wasn't looking for me to be perfect at it and not to make any mistakes. I mean, I knew I was going to. I wasn't my forte, but it made me do a little more deep research of what was going on, listen to what's happening and stuff, and do some reporting that way. But I think it was still part of my community kind of persona. Because I was reporting on what was happening in the community. I just had to change my type of reporting.
And maybe not so much comedy in that moment, right? Like, I imagine being like comedic can help lighten a really hard situation, but it's also like a time and a place.
Exactly. And the funny thing was, I was covering SeaWorld. So at the time, so I'm like at SeaWorld with the dolphins, like this, and it's like, okay, we're sending you to a hostage situation that's right on the other side of the bay. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And so
big change in the
big
day.
change. So that was one of them.
Okay. Can you describe a time when external pressures created a professional dilemma for you on the job?
What do you mean external?
Like it could be politics, it could be the family dynamic, maybe like a change in your life, anything.
What changed?
Yeah, like what happened in your life that might have created a dilemma for you in your job?
Ooh, gosh, where should I start? Me, myself, and I. I'm just trying to, I think probably me.
Yeah.
Probably me. Me being hard on myself, wanting to be professional. I think also worry about what people think, what people are saying and stuff.
Yeah.
My outside world did it to me a little bit. I think it showed, I say probably around 9/11. I think when 9/11 happened and everybody really went to judging people and were scared and stuff, I think that really started to really change my being and my focus a little bit.
Yeah, that's and I also, you said something about what people think, and you're on the news every day, and people are judging you left and right, and now with social media, it's like a whole nother layer, right? How do you prepare for that, and how did you get through that feeling?
I haven't. I haven't yet, and that's the problem we have as people who are we can say in the entertainment world, because that's what we all are. We're entertainers. No, we take things personally when we don't need to, and we feel things more. I think that's the big part. I think with me, I feel a lot more, and people don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to. I'm a guy. I'm a big guy. You're in this journalism part, but it's not supposed to feel anything. And if you really pay attention to some of the older news people, they were very hard. I mean, you probably had some that you talked to, and you would, try to get them to even lighten up a little bit, and you probably have some that just really are just, no, I'm not supposed to my feelings, I'm not supposed to my opinion or anything. And with social media now, I think it's even harder because we want to have fun. There's a lighter side to us, but we still have to keep that window up.
And any feedback, especially negative feedback, can sit so long with you when you wish it would just roll right off. But I just can't imagine your job, you hear all the things, good and bad.
Yeah, we do. And it's kind of funny that my old news director, Phil Vidres, who was amazing, he would always say to me, he goes, Brad, that one person that complained means there are 100 people who didn't. And it's because the person who's complaining is just wants to be heard.
They're the loudest.
They're the loudest or anything like that, and they might not mean anything. But guess what? There's 100 out there that love you. They don't need to call them and make a complaint.
Yep.
And then he said, you know what? That one person will like you tomorrow.
Oh, totally.
That's the thing about it. It's where
it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah. And so it's where I could do something that they didn't like today, and then tomorrow they're like, oh my God, he's so funny. And that's a lot of things. And then when it comes to social media, I think we have the problem is that we want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
And we want to, we want to go viral. We want that viral. We want those likes and stuff. And so this is what I've learned. And maybe as PR, we start to see it too, is that it's not so much your followers, it's how many views you get and how many people see things. And that's more important to me now.
Yeah.
Because I might have, I only have maybe I think I have 3 followers.
He's not joking. I'm just kidding. He's joking.
But yeah, so I might have that many followers, but then I have a lot of views on my stuff. And so I think that's really helping to adjust in our world, because we really don't see numbers when we're doing numbers now for our ratings. So it's a big thing.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Was there a time when your work created a really positive change that maybe exceeded your wildest expectations?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love telling this story. We got time?
Oh, you hit it.
So anyways, I was a little bullet. No, just kidding. So this one I always like to tell is I didn't realize my gift until this happened. We used to do this around Arizona thing, travel around Arizona thing on Good Morning Arizona. And we're up at Lake Havasu one morning, and I'm up there, and I have one of my photographers with me, and we're getting ready to do the show and everything. And I'm in the trailer just putting together some stuff. And they always joke about people coming up fans and stuff. And so they come to me and go, hey, this lady wants to see you. She's a big fan, Brad. Ha, 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 ha. Joking around. I'm like, yeah, okay. I come out and I see her, and she's standing there with an envelope in her hand. And she says, I've been waiting 2 years to see you because I want you to rip this up with me. And I was like, what is it? She goes, this was my suicide note. I was sitting at my kitchen table writing this suicide note. You came on TV and you did your crazy dance and you made me laugh.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
And that just meant a lot to me, that I knew I had a gift there, and that was it right there. So that's something that showed that what I do is important. But yeah, so we sat there and ripped up her suicide letter together.
What is that feeling? Like knowing, you probably never imagined you'd have that kind of impact on someone, right?
Yeah, no, that's when I really knew, oh my goodness, wow, we do something in this business that change people's lives. No matter if it's good or bad, we are changing people's lives, and we have to realize that. But the majority of the time, we're changing for the good. Yeah. And even though we're going on a bad story or something like that, or we have to go interview that mother who's lost somebody or something like that, we are actually doing good. But that's where I look at myself of having fun out there and doing it and make someone happy.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that story. Was there an instance, where you maybe witnessed something that was really hard to process emotionally on a story?
Ooh, gosh.
And you shared a couple of things earlier, but maybe there's something that really sticks,
The toughest one is probably when we work with the homeless.
Yeah. And that's a major challenge in Phoenix.
Yeah, major challenge in Phoenix, but anywhere. But I think it's where you're staying there, you're trying to be light and everything like that, and then that mother or child step up, and you kind of look at them. You're like, how are they homeless? How are they been abused and everything like that? And I think that's when this always gets me. And you hear their story that people don't realize.
Yeah.
And and especially when it comes to the kids. And when I worked in San Diego, and I don't know if they have them here, we called them backpack kids. And what they are is that those are kids that you might see walking around the mall at 2:30, 3 o'clock. You might see them at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night with a backpack and stuff. And that's because they're homeless. And all their stuff is in that backpack. And I didn't know that until someone explained it to me. That's a backpack kid. And they can tell because they're just wandering around and kind of looking, and you think, oh, they're making school, or they're just hanging out and stuff. And so that's the one that really gets me too, is that I can now see a backpack kid.
Wow.
And that's changed my life, to see how we need to help the homeless and help, kids.
Yeah, and as a parent too, I imagine seeing that, and you probably had young kids at that time if you did it, and you can't unsee how someone could let their kid be that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and how they, have nowhere to go. And that's why I always tell my kids, you know, even as they're older now, you'll always have a roof over your head. You'll always have, you know, you always have a place to come home.
Yeah.
No matter what, go off. If I don't talk to you for a month, you always have a place to come home.
Oh, that's a good dad.
Yeah, and I think every parent should just say that to their child, even if they don't mean it.
Yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
and it helps them grow.
Yeah.
Because there's days we want our kids out of the house.
Yeah.
A lot. Anyways.
True.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
I bet you've seen also things that you just never want to talk about.
So.
Again, as well.
Yeah.
What professional accomplishment are you the most proud of that doesn't appear in your bio or on your resume?
Well, it kind of like doesn't. That's my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my kids, and seeing them thrive in what they love doing, and in the business. My kids are also in the entertainment business.
So yeah, tell me what they do.
So my daughter is a comedian and a actress.
Okay.
She was on HBO Max's South Side, and she does stand up and stuff. Now she's writing memes and making tons of money.
God, isn't that crazy?
I know. I'm like, what are you doing today? I don't know, writing memes. So for the Real Housewives of politics, and so she goes and talks with all the real. It's like crazy.
Wow.
So it's awesome. And she just does all the way. Then my son's a writer director, and he's working on his career and stuff for the last 11 years. He's been good. But no, those are the accomplishments. But I think what it is, the accomplishments are pretty much able to still have a face in the valley. I think it's kind of neat that I still have, you know, grandparents and parents, and then grandkids who they show the old videos to and stuff. Like, oh my goodness, we watched them in the morning and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
awesome.
good. Yeah, it is. The only thing I don't like is that when someone walks, you know, a woman comes up and her husband or anything like that, and oh my God, sweetie, this is the guy I used to wake up in the morning with. And it just turns into a big fight. I'm like, no, not like that. Yeah. So.
I imagine that happens. What aspect of your personal background shapes your reporting in ways that the audience might never recognize?
Meditation, patience, cold plunging, being good to myself, and then trying to be better to other people.
Yeah.
Trying not to be so angry at myself. That's the thing.
It's so easy to be so hard on yourself.
And also, too, I'm a big introvert. People don't realize that. I'm so a big introvert, so I have to really, like, work on not being out. But
I
I
would
love
never have guessed that.
No, probably.
But, like, the downtime is probably, like, that recovery is why that's, like, the most impactful thing to
Yeah,
do.
the meditation, you know, and just kind of, like, working out, doing things. So, you know. So Om Fitness, all that does it
all
for
of
me.
them.
All of it.
That's your current favorite workout.
That's my favorite. That's not my current one. That's
It is your
always is
favorite.
my favorite one.
Awesome.
So.
He's going to love to hear that. That's for sure. Okay, we're going to go into some rapid fire questions.
Oh, rapid fire questions. Hold on, let me just make sure.
Get ready.
By the way, I love my proof.
Get close to that one.
Ooh, she served some good stuff up in here. Oh my goodness, what we got? That's why she said drink something before we do these rapid fires. That's why now I'm all loopy. Let's do it. All right.
Okay, first thing that comes to your mind is what you have to go with.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Okay. You.
Okay,
All right,
well,
sorry. There.
one interview subject you're secretly hoping to land.
Denzel Washington.
Ooh, that'd be so cool. If you get him, can like I get him too? Like somehow? I don't know.
Well, what are we talking?
To like talk to him,
Yes.
not for any other
Come
reason.
on.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
I love, she's just blushing. I love this because she's such a, sorry, go on.
Okay, your secret journalistic superpower.
I can read a room.
That is so
I can read the room.
Yeah. Story you'd cover if your editor said, unlimited budget, go wild.
Oh, the story would probably be the Oscars. The Oscars or the Emmys.
Yeah.
Those would be my biggest one. If I can do a whole big production show on that, I would just interview all the celebrities, everybody and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
What would you wear?
Oh my goodness, you asked me where. Well, I would be wearing.
You have to know that stuff, right?
I know. Well, that's hard for guys. I guess I'd just wear some shorts and I dress as Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, I know, right? No.
He shows up to nothing like he cares.
So,
What's the weirdest thing you've ever expensed for the job?
the weirdest thing I've ever expensed for the job. Oh my gosh, you had to throw that ribbon. There's been a lot of stuff.
You gotta give me one.
Probably. Oh gosh. And this is a rapid fire one.
It's okay.
I'm gonna say an adult toy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the job. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that was for the job.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone just starting in journalism today?
I have just one advice.
Yeah.
Don't take yourself seriously. And I'm sorry I have to give more, but
That's okay.
be patient, and just love yourself.
I love that. That's great.
There it is.
Thank you, Brad. Is there anything else you want people to know about you?
I'm trying to think. No, I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying life and want other people to enjoy life and just try to keep people smiling, I guess. I mean, I said I was an introvert a little bit, but that's nothing, I mean, not like major, but still like a home to relax or anything.
Yeah.
But I think also I want them to know too is that I think this young lady right here is amazing. Melissa, proof, PR,
thank you.
just incredible. Can I say that?
You can say that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop you.
There you go. No, that's it.
Thank you.
No,
thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here.
having me here. This is awesome.
Of course.
I'm so excited.
You're